Hey everyone, we're just putting the front of this engine back together, all the timing and everything, and I just wanted to do a quick video and go over a few things that you just need to check before you put the timing cover on, etc. So this is for engine replacement, but using this information for the BFE job, the timing and all that sort of thing, timing belt replacement, supply pump, all that sort of thing. I have not got all the torque specs with me, so someone can put it all in the comments if they like, numbering it. I'll give you some descriptions and whatever, and you can look it up. Pop it in the comments is always a good one. Check the comments. There could be a few people with different numbers, and then you have the wrong one. All right, so with the timing belt components, you've got your tensioner here. So 2 tensioner bolts there, 10mm heads, M6 threads. Pretty sure they're 13 Newton meters, but please someone check it. This is the idler, which as part of your time, when you replace your timing belt, it's got to last 150,000 Ks. It's a long time, and we never see problems with these genuine Toyota belts on the 1KDs. It's one of the beautiful things about this engine. The timing belt is cheap, and we don't see any problems. We don't actually see problems with these or these either, but we replace it every 150K with that BFE kit, part of the job, because this is your engine, what connects the top to the bottom. If that belt breaks or this bearing fails or anything goes wrong here, which is why you really need to be 100% and get it right, that is your engine. It's going to cost you an engine. The piston is going to hit the valves if this isn't set up correctly. So I've turned it, so don't worry about where the marks are, because I've completed what I'm doing. Everything's torque to spec, and you go, oh, why don't you remember the numbers then? Well, that's it. Anyway, so once it's done, I turn it to make sure there's no, even though we know you can see that mark will be lined with the arrow at the top. The crankshaft has got a little mark there. You can't see it probably at the moment because I've turned it. I should have just moved it back for the sake of the video. And the little arrow here on the side here, there's a little divot on the side. But when you get the top one lined up, you'll see these other two lined up. So make sure they're all right. The top one let's start from the top. So the top one at the camshaft here, don't forget. So before you put your cover on, this is what I do. I go through everything. And I do not tighten anything until the belt's on, because I don't want to accidentally turn the cam or any other parts without the top connected to the bottom and press the pistons against the valves. Without too much pressure, you might be okay, but risk it for the biscuit? No thanks. So all components go on. Once the belt's on, it's all just literally finger tight, then nip it all up, and then it gets torqued. So the top one up here on the camshaft, I believe is 98 Newton meters, NMs we're talking in. So someone can confirm camshaft pulley to camshaft, tensioner 13, idler 35 I think, and that's about my memory. These has probably got a number, backing plate, timing belt backing plate to whatever. They're probably going to be about 13 or 10 or 8 or something. I just do it nicely by hand. It's all good. You have your RTV silicone just a little bit along the bottom of that plastic there to try and help seal it up. It doesn't seal it up, but it does help seal it up. Other ones not to forget, you've obviously got your supply pump and your vacuum and vane pumps on here as well, all those nuts, sort of this thing here. But these 4 here, look those up. So supply pump gear, if you like. Those 4 bolts, 12mm heads there. I think they might be M8s. And this one in the middle here is another 19mm. It's going to be around 100 Newton meters, something like that. But check all those. If someone can put a list of those components to check, and double and triple and check again and again and again of these components, think about it. Yep, they're done right. The mark's right. Just take your time at this part. Take 5 minutes, take a breather, take a break, get a drink, have something to eat, whatever you need to do, and then come and go, yep, is it? If you're not sure, just check it again. And don't forget this crankshaft. It's got to be something stupid, 300 and, I don't know, 325, I've forgotten already, but the big gun takes care of it. It's done. Because, try and torque that one without it turning. You can, but anyway, the big gun takes care of it. Don't forget on your alternator bracket at the bottom, this is going to be left loose to make it easier to install the alternator later. So you need to tighten up the alternator bolt top and lower, and of course that 3rd bolt just there. Something not to forget about. I'm going to put this timing cover on now, and I think that's about 8 Newton meters. But anyway, there's a quick video for you. Might end up at that. If it does, subscribe, turn the bell on, and we'll catch you on the next one. Okie dokes. If you're doing an engine replacement, or a lot of people lose this or don't know where it goes when they do their manifold clean, it's this flat plate that goes between the manifold. All right, it goes between the manifold. Trying to do it one-handed, left-handed. All right, now where did I put the bloody bolt? Anyway, It'll be here somewhere. Right, one bolt goes here, like this. If I can get it started left-handed. And then the bracket, if I put it the right way, oh no, it's not where the bolt goes. Hello. Hope everybody had a laugh at that. So that's where people edit and all that. I just go, whatever, man, I don't care. I'm trying to hold the camera in the right spot. I'm looking at the camera, trying to get bolts started with left-handed, whatever. Anyway, excuses. Put that around the right way as well will help. That'll only go one way. So you need to have that spacer bracket there to get the right height so that you ease over when you go to bolt it to this bracket, it needs to be at the right height. So you really need that. So it's important. Anyway, I'll get that done. My point is, this bracket you can buy, it's about $100, so don't throw that away. But that flat plate underneath only comes with the manifold. You got to buy a manifold to get that. Pain in the buttski. Bit of a procedure when lowering in a new engine into the Prados. Hilux is certainly going a lot easier. They've got a different engine mount set up. It's kind of pretty simple in comparison. The 150s are definitely the most difficult to work on. And we've tried a number of different things, putting engines in and out with manoeuvring. They've got a little section on the side of the sump around this side where you angle it to get it past the engine mount. But to be quite honest, just take the engine mount out at the driver's side, whether you're replacing it or not. Once you get that sump behind the steering rack down almost in position, that's the time to remount your engine mount. So hopefully that helps a bit. The procedure we use is carefully supporting the transmission with a transmission jack, and while that's jacked up as far as you can without doing any damage to it, getting the engine to line up with the transmission, push it back, get it on the dowels, get some bolts in, and then once that's all secured, you can remove the transmission jack and allow the engine and transmission to move together on the engine crane and lower those engine mount brackets over the engine mount. Still difficult to line up, so it's a matter of just getting it down close to the bolts, maybe ever so slightly touching, and give it a jiggle around and get those to pop on one by one. Once you get one on, lower it down a little bit, get one of the nuts on, whichever side you do first, and then you've got the second side sort of pulling forwards towards me on the engine crane to get the whole engine to come forward, or whichever way it needs to go for those engine mount bolts that go up through the hole to line up. Anyway, a bit of engine replacement tips. Like I said, it's a massive job, so it's not like we can really do a video on the whole thing, but a few tips and tricks and bits and pieces. Hopefully it helps. Catch you on the next video.